All right, we're ready. We're ready.
There you go.
So, thank you, John. Actually, I don't see your screen. So if you're listening to this, please turn it on. But as for everyone else, so there's a few things on like two blocks in today's agenda. One, which is going to be a general reconsideration of team responsibilities, the most basic team responsibilities, along with a challenge for the team. And then the second aspect is we're going to be seeing the beta. So, or at least an XD file of the beta that if we get done very soon, because John has to leave early, but if we get done very soon, John, I would love for you to walk the team through it. Since this is your creation to some extent, you middleman it and chose the team member that put it together. And yeah, I think that would add a lot of flame to the team. John, by the way, this is your first call, the first team-wide call. I forget about it. Should have done a little introduction. But yeah, I would say we'll get there in like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I'm gonna walk through the first part of the meeting first. And then I think we have also another team member who's going to be joining today, but I don't know yet. Anyway, so for the first part of the meeting, talking about what are some reconsiderations that need to be done for the team in general. So the first thing, I spoke to a few of you individually, and it seems like one of the main issues that we've been having is a matter of clarity. So why do we seem to have scattered responsibilities and responsibilities that are not carried around by the whole team? And a lot of times it's hard to ask for tasks, even if it's as simple as, all right, guys, either it's a reporting or it's showing up early to the meeting. For example, today we're missing one member that never gave a notice. So to do in order for me to fix things, I'm gonna make things more clear. So there's gonna be much more objective flags. So things that are either tasks that I'm gonna be evaluating or tasks that you guys should be managing yourself, but by providing clarity, it seems like that's gonna solve the problem, since that was the problem we had in the first place. So with that general understanding in mind, this is the first matter of clarity that I have for you guys. And my recommendation right now is I urge you to take notes. So it's going to be short notes, but at least you know what needs to be done. And by notes, I mean, write it down somewhere, whether it's pen and paper or on your computer or on your phone. Just know that these things are things that you're going to have to make sure you're managing yourself. It's very simple things, very simple actions that tell me whether or not, at the end of the day, if we needed you to be active, would you? So this is going to be different periods. It's going to differ. It's going to be different for, and it's going to differ for advisors, team members, and chiefs. But make sure you have this managed, because this is going to show whether or not these periods and these tasks are going to show whether or not you're ready to be a part of a startup that might at some point need you to be there. So the first part is for advisors, which in this conversation, okay, great. We got the whole team on board. I'm going to introduce you guys to a couple of members at the end of this section. But the advisors that in this case, there's a few of you that would consider yourself advisors. And the main thing and the three tasks that I have for you advisors is number one. And by the way, I'm going to be sending you what I talk about at the end of this conversation. There's going to be minutes that please, Franco, take minutes for everyone, or like general minutes for the meeting, so that everyone kind of has somewhere to piggyback off of in case they misheard some parts. But again, guys, this is self-managed. If you don't do it yourself, Franco is not going to tell you to do it. He's just going to nudge you in case it's necessary, or he's going to report back to me in case there is things that are missing. But the first job for an advisor and the first task for an advisor is going to be using the morning and the night journal for StockNack, which I've prepared a couple of days ago. Very simple, very short, very concise, very personal. So this is not something that is just like, oh, what task did you do for StockNack? It's more like, okay, set some intentions. It's good for you to set intentions, whether you're an advisor or a team member or a chief. Intentions that are in the morning, and then at night, recap. study your day, try to understand and bring to your awareness what changed that you would want to change tomorrow, replicate tomorrow, do better tomorrow. So they're very short. I think they take, like, the morning one takes a minute, the night one takes maybe 4. But yeah, so it's gonna be, and this is the concept. I'm gonna want to see it for 7 days in a row on the first week. That tells me that, great, you're ready to be an advisor. If we were to need you for something that needs to be reported or done, you're there. And I just want to know that. After the week, you can decide whether or not, as an advisor, you want to keep using this journal that I'll be sending you later, or that's going to be on the Flame meeting chat. Then the second thing that I'm going to want you to do as an advisor is, oh yeah, so get back and get in touch with me with some times that work for you for a weekly call. So if you're an advisor, it's going to start from a weekly call. It might become less frequent than that if necessary, but I do want to have a time available where throughout the week we connect, and whether it's an intensive call that solves a problem or it's just a chatting about what's going on, since I'm planning on making the Flame meeting attendance not necessary for advisors, and instead advisors can just check out either videos that I'm going to be cutting for you from the Flame meeting, or minutes after the Flame meeting. At the same time, though, active participation is beneficial for you, so you have a say if you're available at this time in the morning. But with that said, in order for that to be a productive thing and a productive choice, a meeting with me is going to allow me to fill you in case there's any gaps that you're missing, but also give your input in case you have anything you want to say. So yeah, figure out a time that works for you, send me the schedule that works for you, or blocks of your schedule that work for you, and I'll let you know when is a good time for me throughout the week. And this is going to be a weekly meeting. And then the last thing that I'm going to want for you from you as an advisor is, I'm going to read it specifically, but a list of everything you can be useful for. So what do I mean by that? At a team level, what are some skills or things that you enjoy being useful for, or that you enjoy working on or advising for? And this can apply to both the StockNet life as well as just personal life. Maybe there's something that is connections that you may have, or fields of study that you may consider yourself good at. Like, for example, for me, I'm gonna say I will offer my advisorship to the whole team for investments. At this point, I know the basics very, very well, and I think that if there's anyone in here that hasn't started investing yet, it's kind of a mistake. I'm not gonna lie. So I would say get in touch with me. But the thing here is, for advisors, prepare a list of things that you could help team members with. Focus on StockNet things so that I know who I can get in touch with you, but don't stop yourself at StockNet related things. Include life general things that might apply to other team members. And that's pretty much it. In the second section of here on here is team members. So if you're focused on a job, or you have a specific task that you've been working on, or you're working on, or you know you want to be working on something throughout the week, so you choose to be a team member, and I'll tell you what I mean by choosing at the end of this, but you choose to be a team member, then the journal is going to have to be a mandatory morning and night reporting, which is not a reporting as much as just, as I said before, I described it before, I'm not going to re-describe it, but that's going to be for 2 weeks. After the 2 weeks, as a team member, so as someone that is actively working on something or plans to take on responsibilities beyond advisorships, which in this case is if you have more than 0.5% in the company, either vesting or vested, then you should consider yourself more than a team member, unless you want to downscale from there. But that's going to be for 2 weeks, after which you can pick morning or night. So you want to do the morning journal or the night journal, you can choose whichever one it is. You can also modify it at the end of 2 weeks in case you want to make it shorter, longer, add some questions, remove some questions, up to you. The second thing is to schedule one weekly call with Franco. So if you're a team member, the weekly call is going to be with Franco. You guys might want to do, instead of maybe 1 30-minute weekly call, 2 15-minute weekly calls. That's really up to you. Franco is going to help you break down the tasks that are self-managed. So the things that you declare you're going to be responsible for. And this way, Yeah, Franco can guide you a little bit and help you structure things as a chief organizational officer, but at the end of the day, you're responsible for yourself, or else you're probably looking at wanting to join a corporate environment rather than a startup, because at the end of the day, the startup is very starting from you rather than starting from the top down. And then the last thing for the team members is going to be to set up a 6 months goal plan. So a goal map that is to some extent self-reported, but this is something you can discuss in the conversation with Franco. What is something that you want to hold yourself accountable to, whether it's personal changes in your personal life or changes within your stock-neck involvement. Also, I just forgot, this is not, okay, I messed up. But okay, so whether it's changes that you want to be doing in your personal life or it's changes that you want to be including in your stock-neck schedule, it's going to be very important that you have a clear map of what is it that you want to be working on. And if there's nothing there, this is not something to be ashamed of. Like if there's nothing there and you're like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to be doing now, then if you can't figure it out with Franco, maybe right now it's not the best time for you to have an active participation, and you can just downscale to advisor, because at the end of the day, everyone on this call is a useful advisor and a person that of values that we should want to be talking to. So it's not a matter of in or out, it's a matter of in but where. Then the last piece of team is the chiefs. So for the chief members, I'm going to hold you guys to different standards, including myself, of course. I'm a chief. So whatever I'm saying here is going to apply to myself as much as you guys. But the first thing that the chiefs need to do is the journal. The journal is going to be very mandatory for the next 3 weeks. So I want to see that thing reported every day. It has to become a habit. So don't think of it as like some occasional task. It's a habit. The more you make it a habit, the more you can not only you can control your day and you can learn from your day, but also it's a matter of we can know you, right? So whether you're a new chief or you're an old chief that changed with time, us having a journal that is this very short journal allows us to see how you think, how I think. If we are reading each other's journals, that's going to be very beneficial to know the personalities. At the end of the day, the chief is this separate, to some extent, team within the team where we need to really have synergy between each other. Like everyone has to fill a role. We're pieces of a puzzle. And it's very important that we really take that seriously. And it's going to start with taking seriously one simple, small habit that is not even just for stock-neck. It's something that is a personal practice of the journaling. So for chiefs, 1 week of the 3 weeks is going to be as is. So I want you guys to use the journal exactly as I put it together. Make sure to read the text, everything as it says. After the first week, the second week is going to be the first review. So you can review it yourself, change everything that doesn't click with you, your personality, and your way of doing things. And then the third thing is the second review. So very simply, you're going to review it weekly. After the third week, you're probably going to have a very polished version of what your brain likes to work with. And as for reporting, bringing back the clarity that I was talking about at the beginning, there's going to be a journaling chat on the Slack group. If you're not added to it, I'm going to try to add you by the end of the day, but you can also probably look it up and it says just, I think it says journal report, something like that. But I'll add you. That's going to be simple. I know it. All right, journals. And the second thing for chiefs is to schedule 2 calls with Franco. As I was saying before, you can schedule 2 very short calls, or after the first 2 short calls, because this doesn't necessarily have to be a weekly meeting, but twice you have to check in with Franco. So whether you want to do something where it's a call and Franco can help you schedule, or it's a reporting of some sort where you're typing something or answering a question or asking a question, whatever it is, I want you to touch base with Franco twice, beginning and end of the week. So that this way, it's almost like you have a weekly type of intention setting and awareness, which is more like, okay, it's like a weekly journal of some sort, which it might convert to this at some point if you guys think it's beneficial. But for now, Franco is my direct, like that. Franco is going to put together how we know what's going on in the team, and how fast we can push the accelerator when it comes to new connections, investors that we're talking to, or new team members. And then the last thing, and this is going to be interesting, guys. So for the Chiefs, this is something that I'm actually excited about. I noticed myself calling a lot of the work that I'm doing lately, such as whether it's a presentation or it's a journal or it's a conversation or it's a document, starting to call the work that I'm doing masterpieces. Reason for that is not I'm not just throwing it out there with nilly-willy. It's something that I actually think it is. Like looking at some of the work that I'm putting together lately, I like to call the work masterpieces, but at the same time I'm realizing that okay, if I was to, like, at the chief level, if you're not out here creating masterpieces, things that you consider yourself proud of, that you probably never reached this level before, which could be not only the interactions you have with the rest of the team, but also as your role, like based on your role, what could you consider a project, whether it's a 6 months project, a 1 year goal, or a stock neck goal within this community, or it's just weekly goals or tasks that you have now. I'm gonna want you guys to start putting out masterpieces. I know for a fact that everyone here is capable of masterpieces in terms of things that you can not only be proud of, but other people can see the art in. And I would want you guys to bring to your awareness how much potential you have and how that potential can convert to something that is not just another project in the bunch, but it's actually something that you can look at it and say, this is probably my best work yet. And then after that, you're gonna apply the same technique and mind frame and just say it again and again and again. But masterpiecing is right now a standard within the chief sector of the team. And what I want you to do, so the third task is going to be to put together a document or a presentation or a video, however you want to submit it, of what would you consider your masterpiece under your position. So in my case, as CEO, I sit down and I say, hey, as a CEO to this company, what would I consider a masterpiece for my involvement and how we get to this vision? Like what jobs, what tasks, what individual things, or what big project would I consider, okay, this is a masterpiece. This is something that I'm extremely proud of, and it's gonna play a huge role in our vision. But sometimes I also like to say someone is gonna write a book about this. So that's something that I'm gonna want you to do. So detail this in the vision. Now that's it. Now the ugly part of it, not the ugly part, just the corporate part, which I don't like doing, but I'm starting to realize it's necessary. We need to add a little bit of objectivity to whether or not everyone on here is ready for the startup environment that we're about to dive towards. I took a little dive, we're jumping into it. But within this, so the journaling, so there's basic blocks. Everything is due Friday, so that Friday we can kind of review it. So before Friday, so Thursday night, so that on Friday we can review it. For whoever wants to participate to the non-mandatory Friday meeting, you can check out what's going on within the team. But for like if this is something you can do, and this is the very bare basics, like I'm talking about, every one of these things could take 5 minutes per day. Minus maybe the chief part, which is detailing the whole plan, and the other parts, which include a short call with Franco. But if you can't do these things, then you're not ready for the position that you're holding. And what does that mean? It doesn't mean that you're going to be out of the team immediately. Maybe you have other responsibilities and priorities in life, but at the same time, I can't just keep you with the foot in the door the whole time, because we'll never know. Like if we need you now and you're waiting for 2 years so that at some point Stocknet blows up, it's kind of unfair to everyone else that's sticking by. So there's going to be a 3-month period where if you can't finish these things, or you can't hold yourself accountable to the journals and setting up the goals, whether with me or Franco, and putting together a 6 months goal map or a masterpiece, a presentation, then whatever vesting you might have still to vest that is still not invested is going to freeze for 3 months, at the end of which, at the end of the period of the 3 months, we're going to be asking ourselves, okay, what's going on here, what's the best thing to do moving forward, have things changed since 3 months ago, what have you been doing within this 3 months of freezing, and then from there we're gonna decide what we're gonna do next with you and your involvement, and you can decide what you want to do next with the team. But anyway, with the corporate talk out of the way, now I would say, unless you guys have any questions, John, you want to take 2 minutes to just maybe, I'm going to introduce John, then if you can just pull up or send me the link to the latest XD, unless it's the same one that you sent me already. But guys, I have a few people to introduce here that I don't think you've ever seen, a couple of people actually. So John Bardis, I think he has already been introduced in the general chat, but he's going to be our awesome new CTO. Now, what I know about John is so far he has taken the responsibility of putting together a new UI, which he's going to be showing today, or I will be showing today because I think he has to leave. But what I can say is I'm excited. I'm very excited to have him on board. I think he's bringing this experienced aspect to not only managing this technological project of ours, but also suggesting like a lot of things that we spoke about with John allowed me to really put together a new type of roadmap for our vision and for our app, which is going to be much more simplistic, and little by little we're checking off boxes of, okay, great, this is going the way it should be. And yeah, so he's the first member that I'm introducing today. Right.
Hey guys, thank you for the introduction. Yeah, so I wish I had more time today, guys. So today's kind of tough for me. I do have to go, so hopefully you guys can go through the prototype that we've started working on with Julio and Franco, and everybody should feel free to give their feedback. But if you're not sure about something, that's okay. We're working very agile right now, and things can always be changed in the future, right? So, but definitely I'm very excited to be here, to be a part of the team. I look forward to working with each and every one of you, and just to getting to know you better. So this is going to be a long journey. So our current prototype is a representation of what our goals are for version 1, but definitely not the end result. Just version 1 means, get a product to the market, start learning as much as we can about our market space, and then quickly start building version 2 and 3 and so on, right? So that's it. That's all I have for now. I apologize. I have to run. I have another meeting that started 1 minute ago. So it's good meeting everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, John. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, John.
Bye.
All right. Let me pull up the link. And in the meantime, by the way, guys, a little bit about John's experience. So I'm pretty sure, and Frank, you can correct me on that, but John,
You want me to take that up?
Oh, actually, yeah. If you know better than me, for sure.
Yeah, so I actually was the first one to meet John and interview him and go through his background. And I quickly realized that not only is he in the career position to be able to take on a role like this, right? Where, as you guys know, developers and experienced CTOs, they're hard to find. They're really, really hard to find, right? But fortunately enough, hard work and dedication, a little bit of luck comes into play. And so I found John, right? Interviewed him and quickly realized that his mindset was exactly the person we needed for our startup. Like, we're literally like at the ground stages, right? It's not like we're even at Series A, right? But he's the kind of person who can take the amount of vision we're giving to him and put all that detail into the app and give creative feedback, right? And he certainly has the experience, right? And so over the last, I don't know, let's say 5-10 years, he's been building his development company. So he has a whole software development company based in South America. And they've put out 50, 60 plus mobile apps and other applications already to the market. Very experienced guys in lots of different areas of development. And he's been able to build that up from the ground up, where now it's completely automated. And he has one call a week and one call a month with them, and everything runs, right? So even just to get to that feat shows a lot of leadership and management experience from his side. And so we not only get the benefits of having an experienced CTO on board, we also get the resources and benefits of being able to utilize an existing team that is well equipped to handle what we're building, and has all the experience and the organization behind it already. So we're very excited for John and his team to be working with us. Julie, did you have anything else you wanted to add? You're muted.
All right, I'm back. But I was saying, I don't know if you mentioned John's. So I think John is managing what, a 60 people team in development? Did I hear that wrong?
He is a lot. Yeah, he has all managers and everything. The whole thing's set up and automated, so it's pretty sick.
So that's incredible. And then he also has some very useful members in marketing. So John actually also has. It says that for recording. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, he also has some marketing members and yeah, a bunch of superstars within the team. You guys will see, but the one person that he assigned and lent to us from a 60 people team put together what I'm gonna show you in a week. So that's incredible. At least that's why I consider incredible. But you guys,
yeah, and when we want to get into blockchain, so by the way, guys, right from the start, we're actually going to be incorporating some baseline blockchain code into our app, so that in the future everything's already set up. Plus, we can market it as that. When we get into NFTs, things are already going to be rolling. And so now we get into blockchain. We don't have to worry about finding another company and a whole individual partnership. His guys can also do blockchain, and we can also bring on additional people to the team for blockchain. So again, pretty much every basis is covered on the development side, which is a huge step forward for us.
Julio, after this call, we are going to write to Fabiano. Okay.
Yeah, but now what we have, Giacomo, is we have a person that can actually execute on whatever we're gonna decide with Fabiano. So Fabiano, they're probably gonna have an advisorship role, and they're gonna connect us to the Italian market of connections and investors and artists. But John is gonna be taking care of putting together the blockchain. So
yeah, of course.
putting the NFT. So everything technology, John is going to be responsible for. Now, the second person that I want to introduce to the team today is an advisor and dear friend of mine. He actually he has a knack at marketing psychology. Every time I have a conversation with him, either we come up with something cool together, or he gives me an incredible suggestion, or he gives me a new way of thinking about marketing. And I would say he's at the base of the reason why lately I've been kind of, or we made this big shift of going from talking to musicians and targeting musicians to, okay, guys, let's start from fans. Let's start from fans and let's tackle them in a way that kind of allows us to not spend too much money, not generally kind of spread left, right, straight, but focus on one way of doing things, on one vertical of marketing. And he's here today. His name is Matt Olderman. Matt, if you want to talk a little bit about your experience in the marketing world as an introduction to the team, and then the team can just ask you questions or say hi in general.
Yes, thank you for the warm introduction, Julia. So so I've been doing e-commerce for about 3 years now. And so what I do is I start brands online. And I was talking to Julio a little bit. Julio, you know, me and him have been friends for what, how long? A year or two now? Almost 2 years. He tackles things on a really macro level. I like to tackle things on a very like direct and micro level, like as far as getting things done. So I'm really all about trying to get results with direct response marketing. So yeah, man, I'm excited to be on the team, and I'm excited to meet everyone as well.
Thank you, Matt.
Fantastic. Nice to meet you, Matt.
Awesome.
All right.
So yeah, what else? You want me to go into anything else?
No, I would say that's it. I mean, you'll get introduced to the team little by little, and the team will get to know you by the feedback, or probably your reaction to whatever we're going to be talking about in the next couple of Monday meetings. I would say you are an advisor and you can choose not to come, but I would recommend that at least for the first few Monday meetings, you do show up. And
Well, I do have one question. This is actually something that we ask every new person that comes on board, which is what drives you, what drove you to music, what drove you to StockNet?
Me and Julio were talking a week or two and kind of like fleshing out both of our visions. And like I said, I think there's a really good meshing because Julio, well, I'll talk with him about his business with Stock Knock all the time, just casually. He'll talk with me about e-commerce casually. And I think we were noticing like, okay, he has so much to offer with his macro visions. And for Stock Knock, I have a lot to offer with the micro visions. I think with the music specifically, it's tough to say. Like, I like music just like anyone else, but I'm excited that, the thing that really brought me in is Julio's vision and his passion for everything. And I'm sure you guys know, like when he explains it in the beginning, sometimes it can be kind of confusing, Stock Knock and the whole concept. But as you start to get it, it starts to make more sense. So, I think it's not specifically a music thing for me. There's clearly an opening in this market, right, to connect people better in the music place. But for me, it's more about the team, the vision, right? Building something exciting, and music just happens to be part of that. And also music is it's an amazing avenue to bring people together, which is also like, that's one of my favorite things, it's like being able to not just, because I'm in e-commerce business. So a lot of it's just like numbers online. It's not so much involving people. I like being in something where we can bring people together. So I would say the combination of the vision and being able to bring people together it really excites me.
That's fantastic, man. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, we're seriously going to be able to touch so many people's lives with this product, right? So.
Yeah, definitely. On a small level of just like finding awesome music, and then also on a huge level of bringing artists from 0 to 100. I think it's great.
Yeah, I like that. 100%, man. We're gonna be bringing artists from 0 to 100 and probably getting backstage tickets to their concerts. How cool would it be? Like, you owe this to Stock Knock, and then the crowd goes, eh.
Yeah.
I want to see that. That's actually my where is it? Let me show you guys something before I share my screen for the beta. But yeah, thanks, Matt.
Oh yeah, gonna mention stuff. Oh wow, never mind. I was gonna say let's mention the evergreen thing.
Oh sure, yeah, 100%. Let's do that before we jump to the beta. But it's actually the thing. So this is actually one of this is my. Can you guys see the background? Yeah, you should. So the why I want it is the flame. One thing that a philosophy that I have and had for a bit is when you're asking yourself how, ask yourself why. And when you ask yourself why you want it, you figure out how to get there. Everything else just doesn't matter. So there's two things that you need in order for you to achieve anything. You need to ask yourself why you want it. If that doesn't fire you up, you're doing the wrong thing. Everything else can be a question mark. It don't fucking matter. You can fill it in as you go. And then the last thing you need is the final vision. Like, what's the one thing that is like, I want to get to this point. And to me, this image is like being backstage behind the musician, rocking a Stock Knock shirt, speaking to his crowd. Oh my God, that would be incredible. But all right, actually, I'm gonna stop the share. And Michael, you can take on because you also know the two connections better. I don't know exactly who they are, so.
But yeah, I mean, they're still new to me too. But so we talked to Global Center for Social Entrepreneurship Network. It's called GCSEN. It's pretty much a startup accelerator that focuses on startups that are making a positive impact on their community or the earth. And we are obviously making a positive impact on fans and artists. So it was a really good connection that I did their startup accelerator in 2016, and I stayed in touch with the CEO, and I think he's a CFO, managing director actually. And so Julie and I like pitched to him Stock Knock, and he introduced us to 3 potential investors or advisors that are top-notch perfect for Stock Knock. And 2 of them are actually on a board of an accelerator called Evergreen Accelerator that just invests in startups. So it's like they can either invest through that accelerator or through their own money as well. So that's just 2 things we knocked down recently. Just want to keep everyone in the loop, and we're gonna pursue that further.
That's exciting. Fantastic.
And the 2 of them are actually artists. Actually, I think all 3 are artists themselves. And
wow.
Yeah, 2 of them worked on a company like multiple years ago that was trying to get indie artists to explode. So it's like almost like this weird synchronicity thing that happened. So
Sometimes it's meant to be, right?
yeah,
Hmm.
give him a second chance. I love it.
One thing that Michael, so I noticed I only have 2 of the 3 emails, so please check if on one of them they just didn't include me.
Oh, no. So there's 2 emails, but on one of them there's 2 other people that are copied.
Ooh, okay, I didn't know that.
Jeff and Joe, JJ and Joe and Jeff.
Also, damn, you're putting everyone else's background to shame. Fuck you, bro. and now we all need Michael Sadowski paintings in the
gotcha.
back, or else we're not cool. I really like it though. I like the new corner setup. Much better than the previous one, although it wasn't much different, but it's like it has that like space thing.
You know, it's that
like
funkiness. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a little bit of dimension in the back. All right. What else? There was something that popped up that I wanted to say that.
Oh yeah, speaking of the paintings real quick, the weight of how much passion went into creating the stock deck one that I have in my room didn't stay up on the wall. One night I woke up hearing the Velcro start to tear off, and I look up and the things almost fall. Oh my God.
Wow.
Now I gotta get like nails and staple
Yeah,
it into the
2
wall
nails
because that was gonna kill me.
Man, you know what, Franco, don't break the stuck next skyscraper entrance painting, all right? That's a problem.
It's priceless, but it'll only stay that way if it's in one piece.
Or maybe we can figure out a spin, like if it's broken, you know.
Yeah.
Or some shit like that. Life gives you lemons. You gotta do something about it. There was something else. Fuck, I wanted to say something that I forgot. John. Oh yeah, guys. Update on the surveys. So the surveys, they're gonna be moved to either another day or the beginning of next week. We're having issues with, and maybe one of you guys knows how we could solve this, but I'm also gonna ask John so that he can ask his marketing team. But one of the issues we're having is we're having the issue of the emails, the newsletters are getting sent to people's spams and promotional items. That's a shit show. Like we can't have that happen, because if that happens, now we're basically losing all of them, because at some point we're going to want them to either invest in the platform through crowdfunding, or we're going to want them to
Be early beta testers.
So and then we send the email and no one answers, and we're like, oh yeah, we have 10,000 people, and then we get 15 signups. We don't want that. So first we're gonna solve that, and then I'm gonna let you guys know with clarity exactly what needs to be done on the surveys and when those needs to be sent. So thank you for bearing with me, and I'll update you on that. But now, cherry on the top. Where is it?
The moment we've all been waiting for.
Yeah. The big.
You know what Zoom should add in? They gotta add in like a bunch of sound effects. Come on, they gotta like make this a gimmick. I think people would use it so much, right? Matt, you just can add in the drum roll sound effect as you're gonna present something.
Dude, yeah, I'm probably gonna get a little thing that YouTubers have on the side so they can push the button. I need that, dude. I'm gonna actually crank down on the YouTube channel. I was speaking to John, talking about the fact that, and this is something Akshay told me. So this was an example that really clicked with me. And then I told John, and he loves what I was talking about, the concept of if I was to tell you guys, and actually use this specific example from one of the masterminds just been at, but if I was to tell you guys, I'll give you $500 to tell me who the CEO for Delta is. Who would you say? I think he used a different company, but fuck it, same shit. Airplane company. Would anyone know?
Same premise. No one knows who Delta's CEO is.
Yeah. But then if I was to ask you who's the CEO for Tesla or for Virgin Galactics, that's a different story, right? So one responsibility that I'm gonna have as a CEO is to actually create a brand around myself. Why not? This is something where if you see how much Elon Musk can move with a tweet, it's pointless for us not to get that direction, especially since you have someone that doesn't mind showing face. A lot of times the problems with CEOs is, okay, put them in front of a camera and see how they squeamish like a little like a cat. But we're talking about, I kind of want to develop that part of myself in part because I like that. I feel like that's part of where I want to get to, but also for the team, if I can have the power to move things around, and help the company succeed as fast as possible, why not? So I spoke to John, and he's going to be assigning someone to to advise with this journey, both on my personal journey as well as on my personal branding journey, as well as on the Stockneck journey. And yeah, so pretty soon you're gonna have an CEO influencer. And it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very interesting, but yeah, we're taking it seriously. Anyway, okay, back to this thing. We're done with the boring part of the conversation. It was a boring part. It wasn't too boring, but this is better. So we start here, although this is gonna change a little bit. We got an idea with Luca that was pretty interesting. And this is the second page. And this is actually an interactive XD, so it's gonna be very easy to get code from here. But you sign up, put in your information, you choose your profile picture, first name, last name. Then you pick your genres. I'm gonna pick a few here. We're gonna put more, but it's just UI. Then forget. Okay, so let's say those are the ones. You select your streaming platform, which at the beginning we're just gonna have Spotify. I don't know if we're gonna have Apple Music too. It doesn't matter for now. Then I'm pretty sure this is like this is your vault. Oh, nice. I forget about this. So this is actually your vault, and we're gonna have to put titles here. But dude, look at this psycho. You even put the little buttons on the bottom. I like this. I like having psycho team members. All right. But so yeah, here you have some sort of like news feedish slash. This is what I call the vault. This is where you put your music. These are gonna be your top things, the top songs that you streamed the most. Maybe some highlights, I guess, to your musical journey. And this is gonna be like you can filter, and then this is where you save all your songs. So there's a CEO thing. Okay. Oh no, this is a little different. So and then you can share from within, but can you do this? No. All right. What else? Next page. Oh, this is the music player. Oh, look at this guy. Man, I like this. Details. It's all about details. All right. And the
and just so you know, Julie, that's the share button, right? So you're listening to a song. This music player is overlaid on every page, right? And then you can share it directly to your individual or groups within Stockneck.
Mm-hmm. And then we're gonna have an option to share to multiple people or groups at the same time, so that if there's a song that you think could fit multiple tastes, we make it easy. What else? Then next. I don't know what I'm saying here.
Keep going, go to the next one.
Yeah.
So this is actually, sorry, go back one, and then click on the lounge itself at the bottom.
Okay, that makes sense. So this is gonna be the chat, the lounge, which is the chat. You can create your own groups, have favorites, have individual people you're talking to, or groups that you're part of, whether it's public or private. Then you can add people, remove people, create your own groups, create your own public groups, or join public groups that have your similar musical tastes by just selecting some specific categories or answering some questions. We're still deciding on that. But now let's say we click on a group. Oh, that's it. All right. I guess like this. Huh. I don't know what I'm seeing here. All right, so this is gonna be the chat. So you can chat with people. This is the UI for the chat. I see this being a little, I mean, there's gonna be modifications. So we're gonna be changing a few things here and there, but this is just the very first prototype that I'm showing you guys. And I'm not gonna go into detail into it, but yeah, there's a few buttons. And then if you want, you can, you go to a music section where instead of you having to chat with people or have an iMessage type of lounge, you just have lists of songs, and we're gonna have like a shuffle all button, a shuffle new button. And with all the songs that have been shared in a chat that you were part of, that you maybe missed, or a chat that you're joining and you want to listen to the best of all the songs that were shared there with the most likes, you just click a button, the music player plays itself, and you just go about your day and maybe drive or go to the gym or whatever you're doing. But it makes it easy, and then you can just save categories of songs here.
Yeah, so you can kind of think it like a clubhouse, right? Where it's like each each clubhouse lounge is a different topic, right? In this case, each clubhouse lounge is a different genre or a different style of music, right? Could be workout music. Some people listen to, I don't know, Katy Perry. Well, some people listen to like heavy metal, right? So like it's whatever the group wants to share, right? But so essentially this is your library of music for everyone that is shared, categorized in different preferences, right? And then you can go and listen to them individually. You can shuffle, and then you can save them to your vault, where now it's your curated playlist of all your favorite music.
Yeah. So it's like a cumulative playlist, basically. Okay, now I don't know. This is just parts of the. It's weird. I did see other things when John showed me, but okay, this is the general beginning.
What do you guys think?
That looks awesome. Looks like the UI and everything like that's going to be pretty, what's it called? Familiar, you know?
Yep.
And so like that's one of those things where that's important. You know what I mean? Like we need to have something that's like familiar. People are going to really, you know, when they go into it, they already know what the, you know, what's up, where to go, all that kind of stuff. And they're only really learning the new shit that, you know, that StockNet's going to have in there.
Yeah, I think it looks great. It's super simple. And I feel like that's the key. If you go in and you have to do more than kind of putting in your name, choosing your platform and a couple of genres that you like, if it's more extensive than that, then it's probably going to turn people away because everyone's attention span's about 2 fucking seconds. And then
Right.
like AK said, the platform does look very familiar and detailed. Looks great.
Yeah, I agree. Simple, clean. Makes you want to push the buttons. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe the button.
Right. So
Yeah, and like-
the vault is basically a playlist, right? Just like your library.
Yeah, the vault is your library. Exactly. The
Cool, I like
StockNet related
vault.
library. So, oh yeah, that's a sick name. But you can import playlists from other places, but it's mainly just like anything you saved within StockNet is saved there. So you get a chance to kind of reset your music journey, because I've realized that on my like songs, I got like 8,000 songs saved on Spotify, and I'm like, yeah, old me had questionable tastes. I'm not gonna lie. So I kind of want to hit.
Yeah, and I think we'll eventually have some AI driven machine learning stuff where, for instance, if you're a lazy user, right, and you love listening to music in the lounges and you love favoriting all of them, but now you have, like Julio said, 500 songs in your vault, right, of all different genres, we can actually have an AI go in and recommend all the categories for you, right? And then you can also create your own. So there's a lot of fancy things like that. And then we can also recommend additional songs from emerging musicians, right, based on all your preferences as well. So the vault will continue to evolve and be your central hub, right? Like if we can get users to stay on StockNet through the vault and not stay on their playlist that they've listened to 1,000 times on StockNet, like we've hit the gold line, right? Like that's the stickiness and the retention engagement that we're looking for.
So do you see that there would be a, and this might be like very far ahead. So like, I apologize if it doesn't have any sense of being, you know, asked right now, but in regards to, you know, like the vault and it building and capitalizing on itself and all of that kind of stuff, do you see it being one of those things where it's going to have like an algorithm where people are going to need to figure out, okay, well, hey, I like as a musician, you know, I need to show up in as many people's vaults as possible, or I need to show up like in this, or I need to do this, or I need to release X amount of music like this many times. Mm-hmm. And then that's going to, you know, push me into more people's libraries or their vaults. That's going to push me higher. And as like a recommend, like almost like an explore page for Instagram, right? Because that's what you're saying. Like it'll recommend you, you know, different genres.
I see what I'm going to do here. That's a next level question. You see what I did there? But no, so it's a great question, right? And it's something that we have to sit down and really think philosophically, like what's going to be the most fair system, because we could easily push, the algorithm could be designed in a not decentralized fashion where you end up showing, even if they're emerging, right, 50 artists over and over again to millions of potential users, right? So we could also build into the system parameters where that an artist is only shown X amount of times and we distribute the engagement, right? So there's a lot of things we can play with, right? So yeah, it's going to be a complicated but really, really rewarding system we're going to build for those algorithms.
Right. Wait, one tweak to that. It's not going to start complicated. It's going to start real simple. We're talking about sums. I mean, So first of all, the concept of the later on, so backtracking from vision to vision back. The final form of this, not only is it going to tell us, like, at the end of the day, this is streams. Every button that gets clicked, every time that a song gets saved. No, I mean, every time a song gets played, so if it's your vault, it's going to get played multiple times. It counts as streams on the respective streaming platform, which means it's increasing the artist's snack value. So the talent value of the artist goes up because of your streaming. But then we're going to have internal metrics within the platform of, like, platform wide, how many people share this song, how many people listen to this song, how many people like this song, how many people love this song. And we can create algorithms that tell us who to look at, who to sponsor, who to advertise. Again, I'm going front back. Who to advertise, who to sponsor, who to include in the team, who to contact for, like, a special music lounge concert that is only accessible from people with a specific amount of impact. Like, we want to make it cool, you know.
Yeah, it seems like cool. Like, if you did something along the lines of, like, because of, I mean, play on the word, like how, like, you know, Robinhood or like Webull or anything like that, they have, like, you know, you have your tickers at symbols that you look up, right? You're just like, you got your favorite artists, where are they at, right? Is their value going down? Is it going up? You know, like who's bullish, you know, like who do you want to make sure you want to take, you know, you want to put a little bit more time into conversations around those people, you know, maybe even that's like a connection in with Twitter, you know, some artists is being put up a little bit more often and stuff like that. And that can be like your research almost.
Yeah. So one thing we have discussed in the past with Emory as well is, and we found this very, very quickly and easily through data, is that unless I'm going to say that unless an artist, like, has a tragic death at the height of their career, right, their value is probably not going to go down, right? And so because of that, you don't have this stock market effect where people get excited every time there's the boom and bust type of cycle, right? However, we can basically pioneer the design of this stock-like chart that I actually think other companies might eventually copy, even in the finance industry. And that's essentially when you click on an artist and you open up their chart in full view, you're going to see icons of all the major things they're working on as, like, in a whole timestamp, right? So as their value is going up, instead of it just being a linear or some type of curve, you're going to be able to see where they had their first major hit, right? Where they signed on to a record label, right? Where they put out their first NFT as icons, right? And so it becomes a much more informative line graph that you're looking at, because you're not seeing going down and up, right? And I think that companies like Robinhood might even start to add that into their own finance charts, right? Because all we do is see a value, right? But imagine if you could look at the 6-month view and be like, oh, that's when the IPO'd, oh, that's when they put out this product. So that's kind of what we're shooting for.
Just like companies when they come out and they put out an IPO roadmap and all that kind of stuff, and it's like, this is the projections and everything like that of what we have coming in the future and all that kind of shit. So yeah, I see that. That's awesome.
Yeah. But where we're going to turn into an investment platform is actually when the system starts integrating the NFTs. So I spoke extensively to John about it, and our roadmap on the NFT structure is fucking monumental. And we got some plans that you think about it and it's like, dude, if it was fucking possible, this would blow up. And I asked John and he's like, yeah, this can be done. Seems cool. I like that. Then we spoke about a bit more, and yeah, it's going to be a matter of the earlier you buy these artists NFTs, the better it's going to be, and the more they're going to grow in value in the future. And that's how you spot artists. You can study their career by seeing the stock chart, but the number, it's not the thing. Like on stocks, I go, people just go on the thing and see, oh, Tesla's here, Tesla's there, crypto's here, crypto's there. There's layers to it of, like, passion and attachment to this artist's career and the level of their growth and so on. But yeah, you're like, we'll speak more about this, because I think I got to fill you in on a couple of conversations that you weren't part of.
I'll schedule it in our call.
Yeah. But then, yeah, I would say that's pretty much it. Where did I leave off? Oh, yeah, you get the artist, you study the artist, you go back. But even at the beginning, I was saying, yeah, like, we can have metrics that suggest you songs. And then later on, we can have, like, the final form beyond what I even said and where I started from, having algorithms that predict where an artist is going to end up from here based on the number of shares and the number of streams and the number of this and the number of that. We have flags going up and down, up and down, up and down. And the algorithm says, last guy that had this exact metrics went from 1 knack to 56 knacks in a matter of 3 days. This guy seems to hit the same buttons. He has 96% chances of blowing up tomorrow, and then we are the only people with this information because we have the most data of every other company at the moment, because we would have like Spotify, Apple Music, like all of the platforms that were part of our data pool. And then we're gonna start putting this into like a prediction algorithm, and then we could sponsor artists or sell this information to record labels. This is invaluable information. We're talking about an industry that still does things by word of mouth. I'm like, what? So
yeah, and the cool thing is we don't have to worry about like selling their information for our own profit. Like we're literally giving their information, right, to record labels so that they can educate a decision on who they want to sign on to their record, right? It's like, it's a win-win for everyone. So,
yeah.
Right.
And that's a whole additional revenue and licensing model for us as well. So,
but my favorite part is like outside of musicians, the reason why I would consider selling lists of potential artists to the record labels. We partner with record labels where we take on, like, where we like, okay, these ours, this you don't get, is the information of what streamers have the most influence, what people, listeners, fans, super fans have the most influence. Because I'm actually considering getting to a point where StockNack becomes like a Facebook thing where you can become an advertiser of Facebook and make money on your own. StockNack, maybe you can do the same thing by being a listener. And then we would have a list of listeners that we should be paying a wage to because they're doing their job right and they're being influential. So you know what? Let us make you do this full time instead of working at McDonald's as a manager part time and then another position at babysitting your neighbor's dog, and then 2 hours of music, and you seem to be so influential throughout those 2 hours. Let's make that your life. Let's make that your
Yeah,
career.
this is kind of like what we talked about with the ETFs, right? Regarding someone's music taste turns into their own ETF, and then they can like run it full time.
That could be one of the resources for sure. Yeah. So there's layers to that, 100%. All right, guys. I
gotta jump off.
Yeah.
I got another call now. It was great meeting you all. It's great meeting you, Matt. Hope you guys all see the vision is, and the flame is even more than it's ever been. So hope you're all excited for this ride.
Yeah, absolutely. So now,
You know it, maybe.
video, keep the ball rolling.
Oh,
Awesome, guys.
Thank you guys for being here, and I'll talk to you soon. Don't forget the homework. Franco, send the minutes ASAP as it's fresh in everyone's head, including mine.
Yep.
All right, I'll see you guys soon.
Sounds good. Talk to you guys soon.
Good to meet you, Matt.
good to meet you, Matt.
All right, AK.
Nice to meet you guys.
That's